guys, how's it going? So, um, wanted to I wanted to tell a little story, and talk about how things are all connected. So about let's see, what year was this? 2010. My husband and I were in Seattle, and during this time I traveled with him on a job that he had where he traveled all over the country. And so we were in Seattle, it was Christmas time, and I went with him to an AA meeting. And there was a guy who told the most amazing story, and I've never forgot it, and I'm going to share it with you now. There was a guy who had wanted to commit suicide, and so he saved up all of his pain medication and took them all, and then woke up the next day pissed. And so he took a knife and slit his throat. But because of all the pain medication he had taken, it had lowered his blood pressure so much that he didn't bleed out, his blood just clotted. So he lived and was there telling this story about, how he was grateful and, oh yeah, my husband lost my mug at the emergency room the other night. Using my backup mug. So I've always remembered this story. I've told it a few times, and recently a friend of mine who is a doctor was visiting, and we were just all hanging out chatting, and for some reason, and I had thought about telling her this story earlier, and I didn't. And then for some reason in that moment, I decided to tell her this story. And, Johnny was going on and on about the clotting and, the clotting and the clotting. And the reason that this is so amazing is because she was involved in a study that this turned out to play a part in. Something happened later that day with a micropreemie that they were at a loss for what to do. And this story clicked in her head, and it gave her an idea, and she shared it with her partner, and they came up with something. And it completely changed everything. Not only did it save this baby's life, but it completely changed their protocol. And it changed the protocol for a lot of surgeries. It's being adapted all over. And we even got to name it, which was pretty cool. So the reason I tell that is because that story to me is such a perfect example of how everything is connected. That guy and his desperation to get the fuck out of this place, and how it didn't work, and how he chose that night to tell that story while we were in the room, and how I carried it with me, and how I chose that moment to tell that story, and how she turned it into an idea, and how it's going to change so many things. And everything is connected. We are all connected. This is a magical place. And if you haven't seen it yet, I feel so bad for you. And I hope that you see it soon, because it is a truly wondrous thing. There's so many lines and connections to this spider web that we don't get to see, that we miss because we're not paying attention, or we're looking at other things. But when we get to see these, to me it becomes so clear that Source is in everything. Source is in us. And that the magic of this place is in everything. We are working magic all the time, whether we're aware of it or not. We all have abilities, whether we're aware of them or not, whether we're using them or not. We should be using them. I hope you're using them. But so many people think that they don't have them, and they do. We are all connected. Everything is connected. This because of that. That because of this. Me because of you. You because of me. It's all connected. We are all connected. Not the dead entities. Not the techno-evils, but the rest of us. And it makes it harder to be cruel to each other when you think of it that way. At least for some of us. I hate Backup Cup. Backup Cup sucks. So yeah, I just wanted to tell that story. I've been wanting to tell it for a while, but, haven't been able to get to making videos lately. But that will hopefully change. So, hopefully you'll see more of me. We'll see. Yeah, so that's it for now. We are all connected. Love ya.